This is Armin and this is Mikasa. They went out together in search of their friend Eren, and they found him standing, gazing thoughtfully atop an old rocket. They asked him to come down before it exploded, but he wanted to scare them, so he began kicking the rocket. He slipped and fell to the ground. Afterwards, they sat together, talking about their dreams and what they hoped to achieve in the future. Armin said he wished to become a great inventor, while Mikasa dreamed of marrying and starting a family with Eren. Eren, however, showed no interest in her words and told them that his true dream was to leave the Great Wall that surrounded them, a wall encircling their village and the neighboring towns. Here, we understand that the three of them live in an isolated area, protected by three massive walls that shield humans from the Titans. Over 100 years ago, giant creatures attacked the entire Earth. To this day, the origin of these Titans remains unknown. They destroyed cities and wiped out humanity, but those who survived built these three towering walls, tall even above the Titans, to prevent them from passing. Since then, humans have lived behind them in relative peace. However, the trio did not fully believe this story, because they had never seen Titans with their own eyes. This was why they wanted to leave the walls. First, to confirm whether Titans truly existed, and second, to explore the outside world and dream of seeing the sea for the first time. Indeed, the boys approached the wall in secret, despite the army guarding it. They carefully sneaked forward until they reached the colossal wall, shocked by its immense size. At that moment, Eren gave Mikasa his scarf to protect her from the cold and asked them to follow him to climb the wall. But the soldiers caught them before they could begin, and a scuffle ensued, continuing until their leader, a man named Zoda, arrived. Zoda was familiar with Eren and knew about his parents, who had died under mysterious circumstances when Eren was a child. Their story would unfold in the upcoming events. Zoda began warning them about the danger of the Titans, and knowing they intended to cross the wall to see them, he suggested they join a new unit of the army that was being formed at that time. This unit would be sent on secret missions to the far side of the wall. The conversation excited the trio, and they decided to join. But at that moment, they felt violent tremors, as if the ground itself were shaking beneath their feet. They tried to move away from the wall, but were confronted by terrifying roars. Before them appeared a colossal titan, larger than the ordinary ones, and Zoda was startled because he knew something about it that the others did not. It was clear that this titan was different and special, and its origin would be revealed in the events to come. Its body was engulfed in flames, and it began striking the wall with its feet, creating a small breach that allowed the smaller titans to enter the human world. Soon, ordinary titans poured in by the dozens, spreading chaos and devouring the villagers. Zoda and his soldiers tried to stop them as best they could, but they failed, as the titans relentlessly hunted the people. Meanwhile, the trio ran toward the village, now engulfed in chaos. At that moment, Armin went to check on his parents at home, while Eren and Mikasa hid inside a building. But the Titans arrived swiftly, grabbing people, devouring them, and crushing them like insects. Eren and Mikasa miraculously survived, but were separated upon entering the building. Mikasa returned to rescue a small child lying on the ground, and Eren tried to follow her. However, people pushed him forcefully until he was inside, and the door was closed behind him. Mikasa remained outside with the child until a female Titan approached her. She lost hope and sat, awaiting her fate. Before we could know if she survived, a massive explosion erupted in the area, throwing Eren to the ground. Our hero quickly got up to check on Mikasa, only to find the place empty. He did not return to the building because Titans had already reached it, breaking its roof and devouring those inside. Eren was one of the very few from the village who survived the attack. He moved to the city behind the second wall, and after 2 years, we see him joining the military unit that Zoda had mentioned earlier. That unit was tasked with exploring the area of the village that had been taken over by Titans. They were led by a general named Koba, who explained the cause of the famine that had spread among the people. The Titans had taken over the farmland, leaving humans with little to cultivate. Food became scarce and famine spread. For this reason, the unit was sent on a mission beyond the second wall to eliminate the Titans there and close the breach in the third wall, securing the area and reclaiming the farmland. Leadership of this mission was entrusted to a girl named Sasha. The girl appeared on the wooden platform to present them with the weapon they would use to fight the Titans, a completely new weapon, one the group had never handled before. Naturally, the soldiers did not fully trust her leadership, but she informed them that Captain Shikishima would join them, a renowned fighter among the troops, famous for having killed dozens of Titans on his own. Afterward, the general informed them that the mission would commence at night, and it became clear that Eren would also be part of it. Eren sat watching the soldiers bid farewell to their families, yet he seemed alone. No one had come to see him off, having lost his parents when he was still a child. just like Armin, who had also survived the Titan attack, unlike Mikasa, whose fate remained unknown at that moment. They then had dinner and met Soda, who was distributing food. Soda had survived, but he appeared mentally exhausted, his features hardened, often intoxicated, trying to forget the horrific scenes he had witnessed. It became apparent that he would also accompany them on the mission. Once they finished eating, Sasha asked them to prepare, and they lifted their weapons and climbed into the trucks, awaiting the final instructions. Sasha explained that they would enter under the cover of night, as Titans were asleep at that hour, and warned them not to speak loudly to avoid waking them, since Titans have highly sensitive hearing and can detect human sounds from long distances. At that moment, the general gave the order to open the gate of the wall and revealed that he himself would accompany them on this mission. They set off, followed by the military trucks, while our two friends sat inside one with nothing to do. A soldier began telling them about the legendary fighter who accompanied Captain Shikishima, explaining that this girl had killed more than 10 Titans and would soon join them with Shikishima to assist in the mission, a task that would not be easy at all. Along the way, they encountered strange obstacles and stopped to investigate, only to discover in the end that it was merely a small herd of cows. But as they were about to return to the truck, they heard the cry of a small child coming from inside a nearby building. The child had survived the Titan attack. A female soldier entered to rescue him, accompanied by Eren for protection. Unfortunately, the cries were not those of an ordinary child but of a small Titan, which, upon seeing them, began shouting for its parents. The pair wasted no time and fled, rejoining the rest of the group. At that moment, the sounds of Titans began echoing from all directions, awakened by the small Titan's cries. They suddenly emerged, spreading terror among the soldiers and beginning to devour them one by one. The general then ordered Sasha to retreat with the trucks, leaving behind a large group trapped, including our heroes, Armin and Eren. Fortunately, the strongest soldier in the unit remained with them, bringing down one of the Titans and providing a chance for escape. At the same time, Captain Shikishima appeared, preparing his weapon with his assistant to intervene and assist the trapped soldiers, who were still fleeing from the Titans. At that moment, Eren recalled the training they had undergone at the base, specifically Sasha's drills, which taught them the Titan's weakness, the nape of the neck. Indeed, Shikishima and his assistant arrived, soared through the air, and struck precisely at the Titan's neck, cutting it down with their swords and eliminating it with ease. The soldiers were awestruck by the immense strength of Shikishima and his assistant, who also managed to defeat the second Titan. Eren froze in place when he saw her face. It was Mikasa herself. She had survived the day of the attack and had now become Shikishima's assistant. Yet her gaze revealed that she was still angry at Eren, believing he had abandoned her when the Titans attacked. She then left with Shikishima to join General Koba, with Eren and the surviving soldiers following, eventually reaching an old military base where General Koba was hiding explosives they would use to repair the third wall. The explosives had been buried underground, and they retrieved them to continue the mission. The plan was to blow up the upper part of the wall to collapse the stones and seal the opening through which the Titans were entering. Before moving, Eren approached Shikishima and asked about Mikasa and how she had become such a skilled fighter. Shikishima replied that he had trained her himself and added that he could train Eren as well, if he were ready to learn. Eren naturally accepted the offer, and his first lesson turned out to be shocking. Shikishima explained a matter of utmost importance, revealing that their true enemy was not the Titans, but the very army itself, the same army that had instilled fear in people's hearts and imprisoned them within the walls like cattle. It became clear that Shikishima knew the origin of the Titans, but he refused to reveal the truth to Eren, considering him unprepared to fully understand it. Afterward, Eren wandered through the abandoned buildings until he met Mikasa. He expressed his immense joy that she had survived, but she was furious with him and revealed the bite marks from a Titan attack, telling him that it was Shikishima who had saved her at the crucial moment, while Eren had fled and left her behind. Eren tried to explain that he had not abandoned her and had intended to return and save her, but Shikishima appeared at that moment and ordered him to stay completely away from Mikasa, revealing that he had married her after saving her life. Eren felt a deep sense of betrayal, especially since Mikasa had once dreamed of marrying him and starting a family together. He screamed out in defiance, wishing for the Titans to come and end his life, freeing him from this existence. Unfortunately, his cries attracted the Titans to the entire group. They charged at the soldiers, who fought back with their weapons, led by Shikishima and Mikasa, who began eliminating the Titans with apparent ease. Meanwhile, General Koba focused all his attention on the explosive-laden trucks, ordering his soldiers to protect them at all costs. However, an unknown masked figure stole the first truck, a mystery whose identity would be revealed in future events. The second truck was stolen by a woman, who intended to detonate it among the Titans that had killed her husband. The explosion successfully eliminated all the Titans in that area, and Shikishima seemed pleased pleased with the outcome. Sasha wanted to identify the person who had stolen the truck, as it threatened the mission, especially since these were the last explosives they had, meaning they would be unable to repair the breach in the wall. However, the soldiers had no time to think, as their only concern was escaping the Titans that had survived the blast. At that moment, Eren's rage erupted, and he leapt into the air, following Shikishima's instructions, managing to take down one Titan. But when he attempted to attack a second one, the Titan suddenly grabbed him in its mouth, severing his leg, and threw him onto the roof of a nearby building, right before Shikishima, who refused to intervene, leaving Eren trapped among the Titans that tried to seize him. Fortunately, the soldiers intervened and helped him, pushing the Titans away. Meanwhile, Armin stood frozen, stunned, until a Titan suddenly grabbed him by surprise. Mikasa, in the meantime, continued fighting the Titans, saw Eren injured on the rooftop, but refused to help him, letting him face his fate, as if seeking revenge for what had happened that day. Eren, however, did not even notice her, as his full attention was on his friend Armin, who was about to be devoured by a Titan. Unable to stand by, Eren jumped to save him, but at the last moment, the Titan devoured Eren instead, after severing his arms. Armin fell onto a rooftop and miraculously survived, unlike Eren, who was swallowed entirely. The Titan descended, carrying Eren into its stomach, which was filled with the corpses of soldiers, leaving him trapped among them. Meanwhile, Armin went to Mikasa and handed her Eren's arm. She broke down, overwhelmed by emotion, as she still loved him deeply. She then leapt forward to take revenge, attacking the Titan that had devoured him. But as she approached, something extraordinary happened. Another Titan emerged from the first, resembling the Titan that had destroyed the wall at the story's beginning. The red Titan we saw in the prologue. Unlike the other Titans, this one began aiding our group, eliminating all the surrounding Titans. At that moment, everyone realized that this Titan was Eren himself, who had transformed into a Titan after his death. He advanced toward Mikasa, his anger evident at her for abandoning him and marrying Shikishima. But his body began to weaken rapidly, and he fell to the ground in front of them. They rushed to him, attempting to save him, joined by Shuda, who ordered them to extract him immediately from the Titan's body before his cells merged with it. It turned out that Shuda fully understood what had happened to Eren, and even knew his location inside the Titan. He instructed them to extract him from the neck area, and Mikasa succeeded in doing so just in time. Eren emerged, and his arms and legs were healed, for reasons that would be revealed in the upcoming events. It became evident that this boy possessed extraordinary and unique abilities, powers that Shikishima had been aware of, which explained why he had not shown any surprise at what happened to our hero. Eren survived death but remained unconscious, seeing his parents in his dreams. It was revealed that his father had been a doctor who created a special substance capable of transforming humans into Titan shifters, shape-shifting Titans. Anyone injected with this substance gained a supernatural ability, enabling them to transform into a Titan, just as had happened with Eren. Here we learned that his father had injected him with that substance, as well as his older brother, whose identity we will discover in the upcoming events. The father had created this substance in secret, away from the eyes of the high-ranking officials, including General Kuba, and he did so with the help of Suda, who assisted him in hiding Eren when the officials attacked. General Kuba himself came with the assault, stole the substance, killed Eren's parents, and set their entire house on fire. Eren survived that night from General Kuba and his men and escaped with Suda, but unfortunately, Suda was later captured. After all these years, Suda's identity was finally revealed when they witnessed Eren transforming into a Titan. They realized he was a shifter Titan and wanted to eliminate him, but Suda stood against them with the soldiers and explained that General Kuba had stolen a substance from Eren's father, a substance that could turn a human into a Titan. However, the general did not give him time. He shot Suda in the heart, silencing him before he could finish speaking. Before dying, Suda attempted to tell Eren the identity of his older brother, but he died before revealing his name. It turns out that Eren's older brother is one of the characters we have seen before, and we will learn his identity later. At that moment, the general ordered his soldiers to eliminate Eren as well, but fortunately, a shifter Titan appeared, defeated the general, and rescued Eren. Mikasa, Armin, and the rest of the group initially thought that this Titan had captured Eren to kill him, so they decided to follow it into Titan territory. First, to save their friend Eren, and second, to seal the breach in the wall. After the general's death, Sasha became responsible for the mission. Meanwhile, Eren regained consciousness to find himself inside a strange room. Soon after, Captain Shikishima entered and informed him that he had been the one to save him from that Titan and brought him to this place to rest, as well as to explain the origin of the Titans. Through an explanatory recording, it was revealed that Titans were originally humans. The Japanese army had conducted numerous experiments on their soldiers and succeeded in transforming them into Titans, intending to use them in wars. But things got out of control, and the Titans began destroying cities and neighboring countries. The disease that transformed humans into Titans spread widely, infecting countless people around the world, causing chaos and the collapse of civilization. Only a small number of survivors managed to build the three walls and hide behind them for many years. When Eren asked about the place they were in, he was told that it was one of the luxurious houses of the high-ranking officials who live underground in Titan territory, safe because they are all shifter Titans. From there, they control the humans trapped behind the walls, whom they consider like sheep. These officials were the ones who destroyed the wall and allowed the Titans to enter to spread terror among the people and keep them under control. Eren was furious and declared that they must be stopped at all costs. Shikishima told him that this was exactly why he brought him here and asked for his help in overthrowing the officials and destroying them as they had destroyed the innocent. He explained that Eren was the only one capable of assisting him because he possessed shifter Titan genes. However, Shikishima did not reveal the whole truth and still kept secrets from him that we will discover soon. At the same time, Mikasa and the rest of the group entered Titan territory and retrieved the old rocket we saw at the beginning of the story, to use it to seal the breach in the wall. Meanwhile, Shikishima went out with our hero to meet the soldiers who would assist them in the mission to overthrow the high-ranking officials. Eren appeared ready to take revenge for the people of his village who were killed before his eyes, but Shikishima asked him to fetch the old rocket, unaware that the group had already beaten him to it, unearthed it, and loaded it onto a truck, preparing to return it to the wall to seal the breach. As we see, Shikishima's soldiers intercepted them, and Eren approached to explain that he had saved the captain from the Titan. Shikishima, thrilled to see the rocket, wanted to take it to use with the explosives he had stolen from General Kuba to destroy the remaining walls. He planned to destroy the first and second walls, leaving the Titans to invade and annihilate the officials' army completely. Here, we understand that Shikishima is the unknown person who previously stole the explosives trucks. However, the group rejected the idea of destroying the walls, as allowing the Titans in would also kill the innocent. Shikishima told them that this was the sacrifice necessary to achieve freedom, and that he was willing to sacrifice everyone to overthrow this corrupt system. Eren disagreed, insisting that the innocents were not guilty of any of this, but Shikishima replied that their only fault was living hidden behind the walls for over 100 years, allowing the officials to control them like livestock. He then turned to the rest of the group and urged them to join him if they wanted freedom, telling them that their primary enemy was not the Titans, but the authorities who used fear to control the people. In that moment, Eren remembered the innocent lives that had been taken before his eyes, and he charged at Shikishima, refusing to let any innocents be killed. But Shikishima's power was overwhelming. He struck Eren with a devastating blow, and Mikasa joined the fight, while Armin threatened to detonate the rocket. In the end, they managed to escape, aided by the soldiers who stood with them. The soldier who had previously brought down a Titan with his bare hands this time caused an entire building to collapse onto the soldiers, and it also fell onto the truck carrying explosives. Tragically, he lost his life in the explosion. However, the crucial outcome was that his actions gave his friends the chance to escape with the rocket, and even Shikishima escaped with them, suspended from the truck. In that moment, he stabbed himself with a sword to transform into a Titan and carry out his mission, revealing that, like Eren, he possessed the shifter Titan genes. Here, it becomes clear that Shikishima is Eren's older brother, and together they can transform into Titans just like the high-ranking authorities, because they were both injected with the shifter Titan serum, the same serum that General Koba had stolen and used on himself and the authorities. The group seized the opportunity and carried the rocket to the wall. Eren was on the verge of stabbing himself to transform into a Titan, but his friends stopped him. They were ready to sacrifice their lives to stop Shikishima, who had already eliminated the Titans in the area, and then set off to seize the rocket to destroy the remaining walls. The group tried to prevent him, and a fierce confrontation broke out. After briefly dying, Eren transformed into a Titan and confronted his brother, fighting blow for blow in front of everyone until Eren finally overpowered Shikishima, who fell to the ground after a series of decisive strikes. At that moment, Eren rushed to place the rocket in the upper section of the wall to seal the small underground gap, but he lost control before his cells merged with the Titan. Mikasa leapt onto his back and opened the area with her sword, urging him to regain control in time. Eren successfully completed the task, placing the rocket in position, and Mikasa pulled him away before he merged with the Titan, saving his life at the crucial moment. Everyone paused to catch their breath and prepared to activate the rocket, which was set to explode in 5 minutes, providing them a window to escape. Suddenly, a shocking surprise appeared. General Koba, who had survived and also possessed the shifter Titan genes, appeared in Titan form, just as he had at the beginning of the story. It became clear that he was indeed the one who destroyed the wall to allow the Titans to enter, confirming Shikishima's claim. The high-ranking authorities, led by Koba, had permitted the Titans to kill the villagers to keep the remaining people in constant fear. The group tried to confront him but could not approach, as he was surrounded by flames. At that moment, Eren leapt to pull the rocket from its position to prevent the authorities from controlling the gap, striking the Titan, while Mikasa intercepted with her weapon, giving him the chance to eliminate Koba, who had been hiding near the neck area, and they succeeded. Mikasa carried Eren and escaped with him before the rocket detonated. Shikishima, who had also transformed into a Titan, climbed with the rocket to destroy General Koba and save Eren. In the end, the rocket exploded, demolishing the upper section of the wall that contained the underground gap. Eren and Mikasa survived the blast and stood atop the wall, gazing at the sea, ready to begin a new era where ordinary people would live in complete freedom, just like the transformed authorities, in a world of safety and peace. Family, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our upcoming films.